They banned our names. I'll fight for mine.
I used to have a name. Now, I'm just a number.
In this world, names are seeds of rebellion. And seeds must never sprout.
We memorized our codes before we learned to speak. Our numbers were our lullabies.
No names, only numbers.
Obey!
Even playgrounds echoed with silence.
I kept that name like a breath I wasn't allowed to take.
Our names were wiped from memory and replaced with numbers they could control.
Sometimes we wrote them in blood. A name is all we had left.
They called it a clinic, but we knew it erased who we were. They called it mercy, but we knew it as slow death.
We whispered our names as if they were forbidden spells.
Unauthorized communication detected.
We passed them quietly, like hope in fragile hands. Even the mirror was a witness they could use against us.
When memory became illegal, the mind became the battlefield.
We wrote names on walls, like tombstones for the living.
They buried numbers, but we mourned the names they tried to erase.
Here, names weren't forgotten. They were protected.
Elias. That's your name.
A voice from the past called me by the name they tried to bury. We didn't need words. A name passed hand to hand was enough. 3 seconds of truth before the system swallowed it whole.
They didn't just erase the past. They rewrote it with lies.
They stole memories, but memory hid in the cracks.
Even a whisper can sound like resurrection.
I carved it into skin, because flesh forgets slower than minds. They feared names, because names meant we still remembered. We walked with names hidden beneath us, a quiet rebellion with every step. For 1 second, she was Zoe again. We hid them anywhere we could, because if you remembered one name, you remembered them all. We stopped writing names and started creating signs to remember them. Every name I saw reminded me I wasn't the only one left. The lights returned, one for every name they failed to erase. Their system blinked red because remembering had become contagious. We stood in silence and let the world feel our names. She didn't scream it, but the world heard her anyway.
They tried to cut the signal, but the memory had already spread.
They couldn't erase the name that lived inside the soul.
Even in ruin, we remembered to etch who we were.
The rain washed everything except his name.
What was lost in records found a home in color.
They played whispering in each other's ears with the name, as if they were magic words. A whisper on stone, but louder than any code.
And then the names came back, flooding the silence.
We spoke the names and became human again. A name was proof I had lived.
This was one of many files, buried but never erased.
And you? Do you still remember your name?
Next file, unlocking soon.